Medicine was never built with us in mind. For centuries, the halls of hospitals and lecture rooms whispered the same message to Black women: you do not belong. They were denied entry, dismissed, underestimated, and yet we refused to accept invisibility. In 1864, Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler became the first Black woman in the United States to earn a medical degree. She practiced medicine when the world barely acknowledged her humanity, let alone her credentials. She treated freed Black slaves in the South at the time when Black bodies were discarded. She did not have the privilege of recognition. Her work wasn't just about medicine, it was about survival. Then came the next. Dr. May Chin, told she could never specialize in surgery, became a pioneer in cancer detection. Dr. Alexa Kennedy shattered another barrier in 1981, becoming the first female neurosurgeon, proving that excellence has no limits. Dr. Helen Dickens, one of the few Black women in her time to practice obstetrics, dedicated her career to caring for young Black mothers. Their sacrifices paved the way, but the fight for representation is far from over. Today, more women of color are entering medicine than ever before, but numbers alone do not tell the full story. The barriers still exist, the bias still lingers.
One experience that comes to my mind is an experience I actually had before medical school when I worked as a medical technologist in the lab. There was this particular day we were super busy in the clinic and I had to go draw this patient's blood, and he was there with his mom. So I walked into their room and introduced myself, got everything I had ready to draw his blood, and explained to his mom and him what I was about to do. When I did that and tried to draw his blood, he had really small veins, and so I couldn't find a good vein to draw the blood from. So I switched from one arm to another, and his mom made a comment to me asking me if I could go get somebody who could do it properly. But I still remember that experience to this day, just because I never experienced anything like that. Well, in that moment, I wondered if I was not good at my job, or if I made a mistake, or I kind of blamed myself for it. I realized that I could actually use that experience to help other people, because I know I'm not the only one who will probably have gone through things like that. Coming to medical school, I made the decision to really know how to do medicine, how to treat patients, and I would like to be a representative of the minority population, to represent them, to care for them, to make them know that they're seen and they're heard, and to make sure that they get the best care that they deserve.
Healthcare isn't just about medicine, it's about trust. It's about being seen, being heard, and being cared for without bias. For decades, Black patients have had worse health outcomes, not because their bodies are different, but because the system has never been built for them. Because biases, both implicit and systemic, shape the care they receive. Studies show that Black patients are more likely to be dismissed and their symptoms underestimated. Black women are 3 times more likely to die during childbirth than white women. Black men live on average 6 years less than their white counterparts. The numbers don't lie, but they can change. When doctors look like their patients, everything shifts. When Black patients are under the care of another Black provider, they're more likely to trust their physician, more likely to follow medical advice, and more likely to survive.
I have a certain comfort that I place in an old Black woman because, in some ways she reminds me of my grandmother. or a brother that says, well, what's happening, brother? And I know that it's a certain relationship that we share and a certain kind of trust. And I think that this is the kind of thing that we got to realize that, that black people got to start taking care of black people because they understand black people better than anybody else. I think that I'd like to wake up with some black hands around me, because it's more comforting, because it's an assurance, because to me, in many respects, it's an extension of a family.
Close your mouth and push as hard as you can. Very good. Good push. Very, very good.
The face of medicine is changing because we refuse to let it stay the same. We are the future of healthcare, the mentors, the surgeons, the pioneers. We are here and we are claiming our space. This is not just a career, it is a legacy. To the women before us, we honor you. To those walking this path now, we uplift you. And to the ones who will come next, know this: you are needed, you are powerful, and you are worthy.